The Chase Australia.
Tonight, anger and frustration over the COVID vaccine rollout. Victorians turned away from empty hubs. The states lash out at Canberra. New travel turmoil as the Brisbane outbreak spreads to New South Wales, and Melbourne's Holiday Inn swings back into quarantine operations. A rogue Porsche driver labelled the most hated man in the nation as he pleads for freedom. A daughter desperate for help to find her elderly parents. And 100 years of history, a major milestone for the RAAF.
Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Peter Mitchell starts now.
Good evening. There's growing anger over Australia's COVID vaccine rollout, with inoculation hubs turning people away, even though they're sitting empty, and GPs are still waiting for supplies. 600,000 people have been vaccinated so far, but the target was 4 million. The delays have triggered a war of words.
It's supposed to be a mass vaccination hub. Instead, the Melbourne Exhibition Centre is all but deserted, vaccinating a handful of emergency workers and turning away elderly patients. 87-year-old Margaret Rutherford is frustrated.
I'd like to get it over and done with and get back to being normal and seeing the great-grandchildren again.
Her GP, Barbara Innes, has a fridge, waiting room and hundreds of patients, but her Pakenham clinic won't receive the first vaccines until next week, and then it'll be just 50 doses.
It seems a little, ridiculous, to be honest, that we're getting a tiny box of 10 vials every 2 weeks.
Melbourne's Nobel laureate Peter Doherty received his jab today.
Go and get the vaccine. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's not painful.
But it is hard to get. Only 100,000 doses have been given to Victorians. On January 7, the Prime Minister said,
"We hope by the end of March we'll reach some 4 million.
We've managed just 670,000.
Well, that target was explained months ago, that was dispensed with because of the problems we had with vaccines not coming from overseas.
Today's the day when we've had record vaccinations, 72,000, and I think that's a really powerful thing to focus on.
But our vaccination rate is just 2.12 for every 100 people.
Rwanda is doing better than us at 2.69. Indonesia at 3.94 per 100. So we have a long way to catch up.
And now the federal government's blaming the states for the slow progress.
What we want to do is make sure states and territories are rolling out the vaccine and not stockpiling at the moment.
Prompting fury along the East Coast.
I'm as angry as I have ever been in this 15 months of war against this virus.
An orchestrated attack by Morrison government ministers against the states.
As soon as that vaccine is provided to the states, we will be in a position to ramp up our effort.
The Prime Minister says we are still on track to give every Australian adult at least one dose of the vaccine by October. But to do that, he needs the support of both the states and local GPs, and at the moment, neither group is on side.
We just want more vaccines.
Laurel Irving, 7 News.
And holiday plans are facing more turmoil, with Queensland's outbreak spreading to New South Wales, leading to extra travel restrictions. It's also causing growing concern over Victoria's COVID controls as people enter the state.
On their way to a Cairns honeymoon, dancing for joy, a change from the confusion of passengers coming the other way.
No one's asked us where we've been or anything at this stage.
Some escaping Queensland's growing COVID outbreak told to wait.
When we landed in Melbourne, you weren't allowed out of the area without talking to the COVID marshals.
Straight through, but they did warn us that they might check us as soon as we get to Victoria.
Catherine, a nurse, says she argued with the department official at the airport last night. She knew she needed a red zone permit and isolation after being in Brisbane, but claims she was advised to fill out a green zone permit on arrival with no isolation.
If they can't manage domestic travellers coming in, how are they going to manage hotel quarantine, and how are they going to manage international travellers coming into Australia?
An automated text later confirmed what Catherine thought: she must quarantine. Alexandra Main experienced the opposite, told her Monday flight from Brisbane was okay several times, only for its status to change mid-air.
It's pretty ironic because my colleagues in Brisbane are going to get out of quarantine before I do, so I should have probably just stayed there.
2 new local Queensland cases on day 2 of lockdown. both linked to a cluster that spread from a nurse who attended a hens party. Crucially, no mystery cases.
This is very encouraging, and we'll be providing you with an update again tomorrow, 9 a.m, and fingers crossed, all will be looking good for Easter.
The hens party in Byron Bay has infected another person sitting nearby. That's counted as a New South Wales case, the state's first in 2 weeks.
This has been a real wake-up call to all of us. Complacency is not an option.
The Gold Coast Mayor says we should book anyway.
If I was in Melbourne, Gold Coast myself, for Rex Airline at $79 one way, I'd take a punt and book.
And Blake Johnson has breaking news on a worrying COVID development in Melbourne. Blake, fragments of the virus have been detected in wastewater.
Pete, what the Health Department is calling the unexpected detection of the virus was found last Thursday and just confirmed by testing. It covers a total of 18 suburbs, including Hoppers Crossing and Werribee, plus a large area of the city's southeast, including Berwick, Marriwarren and Cranbourne. It underlies the importance of anyone with symptoms to go and get tested. Pete?
Blake Johnston, thank you. The trouble-plagued Holiday Inn is back in operation tonight with new promises about the hotel's safety. Charnel Vella has the details. Charnel, we're being assured the problems of the past have finally been fixed.
Well, Mitch, the Chief Health Officer signed off on the reopening of the Holiday Inn, but there's already been one major mistake. The first guests here were 12 travellers who arrived from Brisbane, and the state government has just realised they don't need to quarantine. There are still 9 guests remaining here. They will be released tonight pending a negative result, but while their stay was short, it seems it was the test run that was needed. The holiday's over at the hotel that sparked last month's snap 5-day Victorian lockdown.
Every room is being checked. So yeah, we've got every confidence that the Holiday Inn is a safe place for people to enter the program.
16 travellers from Brisbane were today shipped to the Holiday Inn, giving staff an early test ahead of the program's official restart.
There's been ventilation changes, there's been changes to how staff work and are rostered across all of our hotel quarantine facilities.
Dozens of questions, but few answers.
We really need to wrap up. Can we get a quick photo, guys?
As the acting police minister was silenced midway through his media conference, Danny Pearson eventually returned to apologise to anyone caught up in the Queensland COVID drama.
I'm sorry for any inconvenience that's been caused to you. We don't want any inconvenience. But obviously we have to keep our borders safe and we have to keep Victorians safe, and we will make no apology for protecting Victorians.
That protection certain to be tested when international flights resume landing in Melbourne. 800 passengers a week will begin arriving in just 8 days.
We think our hotel quarantine system, after the reviews that we have done, is as safe as we can make it.
Chanel Vella, 7 News.
A rogue Porsche driver has been described by a judge as the most hated man in Australia. It hasn't stopped him from asking the court to set him free, as it heard disturbing new details on what he did moments after the crash that killed 4 police officers.
The family of leading Senior Constable Lynette Taylor ready to face the man who filmed their dying wife and mother. She was one of 4 officers killed when they were hit by a truck on the Eastern Freeway last April. They'd just pulled over Richard Pusey in his Porsche doing 149 kilometres an hour. What happened next? Hard to fathom. The depth of Pusey's depravity laid bare at his plea hearing. Rather than help the victims, the 42-year-old shot video of the dying officers on his phone for 3 minutes and 8 seconds, zooming in on Lynette Taylor as she lay moaning on top of his Porsche, repeatedly saying, "Wow, look at that, isn't it amazing? Absolutely amazing." Pusey ignores a request to put a blanket over the dying officer. When a witness pushes past him to try to help, Pusey tells him, "Don't have to hit me, mate." The man replies, "I'm not hitting you, but come on, help me. Let's help these guys, okay?" Pusey replies, "They're dead," and walks away, continuing to film the scene. The judge clearly struggled with the thought of Pusey videoing the dying officers instead of helping them, labelling it as bizarre, extraordinary and difficult to understand. He said it's made Pusey the most hated man in Australia. Pusey's lawyer says he's sorry and already served enough time behind bars. He's the first person in Australia to face the charge of outraging public decency, so it's unclear what sentence he'll face. For the families of the victims, it's unlikely to be enough. Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
There were fears squatters could have been trapped in a huge fire at Vermont South this morning. It broke out in 2 disused buildings at the site of the former Australian Road Research Board. More than 50 firefighters battled the blaze, taking more than an hour to bring it under control. A daughter is tonight making a desperate appeal for help to find her missing elderly parents. Georgia Comensoli is tracking the investigation, and Georgia, the couple vanished after a trip to Crown Casino.
Mitch, the 87-year-olds were last seen leaving a car park on Kingsway around 6:30 last night. They'd just had dinner at Crown South Bank and were leaving in a gold Lexus with the number plate PYM 184. Otto has a heart condition and both he and his wife Gerda suffer short-term memory loss. Otto failed to attend a medical appointment today, and that's when the alarm was raised.
Mum, Dad, if you can hear me, or if you're watching this, could you please give me a call or call the police or just notify someone?
There was an unconfirmed sighting of the pair at a petrol station in Mount Waverley in the early hours of this morning, but so far it's failed to help detectives find the couple. Mitch.
Georgia Comensoli at Kingsway. Thank you. It's beginning to feel like an election campaign, with the opposition leader launching Labor's revamped electric car policy that crashed at the last poll. The government has backed the same technology, but questioned how Labor plans to pay for it.
Reflecting on the wonders of space, a fascination for kids young and old, finally finding reason to smile.
What's your name? Jenny. That's a good name. I like the name Jenny.
His announcement fast-tracking his already announced $1 billion plan to build guided missiles in Australia.
This is all about ensuring that we have the capability to do what we need to do to protect and defend Australia's interests in our part of the world.
The future is here right now.
A future Anthony Albanese says he's plugging into by promising to make electric cars cheaper, exempting them from import tariffs, saving $2,000 on private vehicles and dropping fringe benefits tax, slashing $9,000 a year on company cars. Having attacked Labor's electric vehicle policy at the last election as a plan to force tradies out of their utes, the government now has its own plan supporting them.
That's good technology.
But suggests Labor's policy rollout, paid parental leave, manufacturing, now electric cars, is getting expensive.
They spent $30 billion in 2 days. Imagine what they'd be like if they had 3 years.
Mark Riley, 7 News.
A Melbourne department store has fallen victim to the boom in online shopping. Estelle Griepink has the details, and Estelle, Myer is closing one of its suburban outlets.
Mitch, Myer's Knox store will cease trading by July this year, ending almost 50 years of history at the Knox Shopping Centre in Wantirna South. About 100 staff are set to lose their jobs, but Myer says it will try and redeploy staff where possible. The department store giant says while online sales are on the rise, they are trying to get rid of some of their physical floor space. It was only in 2010 that they outlined plans to have 100 stores across the country. Now, when the Knox store closes, they'll only have 59. Westfield has also put out a statement tonight saying they already have plans for some of the Myer store. They plan to turn it into a Woolworths. Mitch?
Estelle Griepink, thank you. There was a spectacular show in the skies above Canberra today, marking 100 years of the Royal Australian Air Force. Decades of military history took to the sky with a special message from the Queen.
In perfect formation, the prowess of the Royal Australian Air Force showcased over the nation's capital, including older aircraft from World War II to mark a century of service. The Air Force presented with a new Queen's colour by the Governor-General.
The celebration of 100 years dedication to the defence of Australia and its values and of service to its people.
honouring 350,000 Australians who've served and more than 11,000 who sacrificed their lives.
It is the people, not the equipment, that have built the Royal Australian Air Force.
After the Australian Flying Corps, the RAAF launched in 1921 with planes used in World War I to lead Australia's air missions in every major conflict since and in times of crisis. It's an impressive display from our Air Force that has protected this nation for the past 100 years, and the next century promises new technology and new challenges. Olivia Leeming, 7 News.
The teams are in for tomorrow night's relocated Round 3 AFL opener. Tim Watson, there's plenty of injury intrigue.
There is, Mitch. Collingwood and the Brisbane Lions are both nursing injured stars. Tom Brown has the key ins and outs for tomorrow night's big game, and Tom, a veteran pie, is back.
Tim, Chris Mayne replaces the injured Jamie Elliott. The big question, will Mayne or another player tag Lion star Lockie? Neil Rusco's been dropped. The Lions making 3 changes. Tim, due to COVID, Sydney will now arrive earlier tomorrow for their big game against the Tigers this weekend. The Swans must get COVID tested when they arrive and isolate in their team hotel until they're cleared. I'll have more in sport.
Thanks, Tom. We'll see you again a little bit later. Also ahead, why it's set to be a good Friday for one AFL debutant, and the Saints set to unleash their big name recruit, Mitch.
OK, Tim, thanks very much. Bayside children are being blocked from using a local park during school hours. They can't train for sport because one resident complained. The details are next. Also exclusive, see Ed Sheeran's message from the heart for Victoria's children. Police rammed in a dramatic confrontation near Healesville. Virgin's sleek new offering to blast tourists into space. How much are tickets will set you back? And take a look at the Lego Spectacular set to wow children. That sneak preview is a little later.
Seven News brought to you by Industry Super Funds.
Police can't help themselves. My super doesn't work out for me. I'll be working forever.
Well, we've worked all our lives for this place. We'd hate to have to sell it to fund our retirement.
That's for sure.
Authorised by B. Dean for Industry Super Australia, Melbourne.
When I became the very first champion of Dancing with the Stars, my kids weren't even born. They are so excited that I'm doing it again. Who would have thought I'd be back here 17 years later with my kids cheering me on? I'm back. Let's see if I can win that mirror ball again.
Beck is back. Dancing with the Stars All-Stars. After Easter on 7.
There's a lot you can do in just a couple of seconds, even with just one hand. Beautiful. Just load it up on the pies tonight. And she's gonna purr like a kitten. Da, 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 da.
It's shacking easy to bet anytime, anywhere with the PointsBet app.
Can't get enough of Puff? Domino's Puff Crust is back, and now there's a new way to enjoy it. New Puff Rolls. Try a pepperoni puff roll for $2.95 or a choc lava puff roll for $4.95. Domino's, bring it in.
Knowing what's really important. Feeling comfortable being you. Life over 30 can mean a lot of changes, including your bones. Bone mass peaks in our 30s. You need enough vitamin D to maintain bone strength, as well as good diet and exercise. Look after your bones with new Austerlin Bone Strength, with the added benefit of magnesium, iron or collagen support. Try new Austerlin Bone Strength.
Introducing free chef-quality cookware from Coles. For every $20 you spend in one transaction, scan your Flybuys card to earn 1 cookware credit.
That's the way to cook like a pro. Coles. Value the Australian way.
You can't beat Modern 10 if you want terrific advice and a great deal.
Like a Roven portable fridge freezer a low $3.99 or this Heller electronic dryer only $3.29.
That's mighty helpful, Modern 10.
I'm back dominating the paint. And I'm all over this 10-leg same-game multi. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Not you.
PointsBet, it's shacking easy.
A driver has rammed a police car, then led officers on a pursuit along the Maroondah Highway. The crime rampage ended when the woman was involved in a head-on crash with another car outside Healesville. She was taken to hospital under police guard. The officers in the car she rammed were not hurt. A Bayside school has been booted off a local oval after a single noise complaint from a neighbour. The principal is pleading for a rethink, but the council isn't listening.
For local school children, this was the perfect place to practice cross-country until Bayside Council decided it wasn't.
Many students are really disappointed, seemingly families are as well.
All because of one complaint. The kids were too noisy.
We don't feel that cross-country training is a noisy activity.
Noisy or not, the complaint unleashed a bureaucratic monster. Hampton Primary School planned to train on Castlefield Oval on Wednesday mornings before 9 a.m. The council says it's a school event and the ground isn't available for those until after 9.
The reasoning is that there's a teacher present and supposedly that constitutes an event, despite the fact that it's voluntary and the teachers there are volunteering their time as well.
This is a public oval, which means students could theoretically still train here without a teacher present, but the school says that simply would not be safe.
We felt by having a teacher there that didn't necessarily make a difference, all it did was make it safer.
Other locals had one word.
Pretty unreasonable. Very unreasonable.
But the council is standing firm. A school's field of dreams dashed thanks to just one neighbour. Louisa Cheatley, 7 News.
The woman who filmed the video that shocked the world, capturing the arrest that killed George Floyd, has told how she begged police to check his pulse. She broke down in tears, giving evidence at the trial of the officer who held him down.
His killing witnessed by the world.
I can't breathe all of that.
Now witnesses on the street that day are giving evidence against the police officer who pinned George Floyd through his final minutes alive and beyond.
I believe I witnessed a murder.
Trained in martial arts, Donald Williams told the court he recognised Officer Derek Chauvin's hold on Floyd as a kill or blood choke.
You called him a tough guy.
I did.
In fact, he berated Chauvin during those lethal minutes.
You called him a bum at least 13 times.
Oh, you're a bum, bro. You're a bum, bro. You're definitely a bum.
Testimony too from the paramedics stopped when she tried to help Floyd.
When you couldn't do that, how did that make you feel?
Totally distressed.
Were you frustrated?
Yes.
This just 2 days into evidence here, and the trial is expected to run for weeks. A verdict is not expected before late April. In Minneapolis, Tim Lester, 7 News.
Space tourism is a step closer, with Virgin Galactic unveiling a new spacecraft. A seat on the VSS Imagine will cost $330,000.
It will take you to space. It'll actually tip upside down and let you look while you're weightless through these big windows in the ceiling.
The spacecraft will soon begin testing on the ground. A young dancer is back on her feet again thanks to the skills of doctors at the Royal Children's Hospital. Jane Bunn met the teenager as part of her Good Friday Appeal series, and Jane Ariel has made a remarkable comeback.
Mitch, she is a really talented young girl in so many ways, and now she is looking forward to a very bright future.
It's been a devastating few months for hip-hop artist Ariel.
I had to learn to walk again.
The 17-year-old had just finished her Year 11 exams when she became ill late last year.
Taking her to the emergency room, you must have been terrified.
We just didn't know what was wrong with Ariel.
Then, Royal Children's Hospital specialists diagnosed the terrified girl with a sudden and severe onset of multiple sclerosis.
We had to treat her with lots of medication. She was actually in intensive care.
It was a devastating diagnosis. The shy teenager spent her birthday and Christmas in hospital, needing intensive rehabilitation.
How do you tell your little sister that she might not be able to dance or walk again?
After 3 long months in hospital, Ariel did just that.
Look at her, here she is, just standing right in front of me.
The talented young artist has regained the use of her hands.
Isn't that great?
Her specialists hoping Victorians will give generously to the Good Friday appeal to help fund a very special project.
We started an MS clinic at the Children's Hospital, the first one in Australia. Anything that people can give will help people like Ariel.
Those doctors really do change lives. It has been a privilege to meet them and their wonderful patients. Mitch.
A great story indeed. Thank you, Jane. And superstar Ed Sheeran has sent a special message to Victorians urging us to give generously to the Good Friday appeal.
It's now in its 90th year, so please donate if you can. Spare $5 or $10, go to goodfridayappeal.com.au.
Good on you, Ed. The new father is in Melbourne after attending Michael Gudinski's memorial. Train and tram bosses have collected massive cash bonuses, even though the networks were running empty and losing millions of dollars. The details are next. Also, a high-rise security breach right under the noses of police. Dressed to impress, our Olympians unveil their new uniforms with a new twist on the green and gold. And still to come tonight, a poison threat for children and pets.
Your Easter weekend is about to kick off. Get ready for Seven's Easter Footy Fest. Nice! Thursday, Lions and Magpies in a battle to keep their seasons on track. Look out! Then the kick for the kids. Roos versus Bulldogs for the Good Friday appeal. And Saturday night footy is a blockbuster in the West when the Eagles host the Power. All leading to the Easter Monday classic, Cats versus Hawks. And with the AFLW finals all weekend, there's only one place to be. Seven's Easter Footy Fest. Starts Thursday, live and free on 7.
Okay, team, we're doing something new.
Supervise.
That's right. A selected range of interesting products you might not expect from us.
Oh, like dog costumes and stuff?
Not quite.
Check out this remote-controlled Jeep kit for $49.99, or these Brocky jigsaw puzzles for $15.99.
Robotic arms?
Supervise. On sale this Thursday while stocks last.
Waiting up for something special? Look no further, big boy. Try top-toed exotics from Sportsbet. Get the best payout across all 3 tabs. Whether it's a Cornella or a Quaddie, you'll get the biggest return with Sportsbet.
For me, the best way to get the best seafood this Easter is from Coles, Australia's best sustainable seafood supermarket.
Coles Tasmanian salmon portions, skin on, just $24 a kilo.
Coles, value the Australian way.
Kick off the new season at Harvey Norman. Big games need a big screen, and we have all the big brands featuring the very latest tech to enhance your viewing experience. Every TV size, from 55-inch up to a king size 100 inches. Pump up the volume with big sound to complement your big screen TV. Plus, get 60 months interest free with a bonus gift card up to $500. New season, new tech, new gear. Score a great deal on home entertainment now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
It's the Michael Hill sale, and you just can't go past all these shiny new things. But these offers won't last. With hundreds of reductions in store and online, you'll step into autumn with plenty of shine. Michael Hill.
Strap yourselves in. Clunt Kennedy has one last shot in the parallel parking, and he's wheeled out the Gold Coast combo. The jet ski on a trailer. It all hinges on this. Looking good. Oh, just back yourself in, mate. He slotted it! Pedal to the metal!
You too can make it look easy with Sportsbet's AFL Same Game Multi. With more markets, more offers and bigger odds. If it's a Same Game Multi, it's Sportsbet.
Fifi! Teddy! Jana!
If you really like dogs, you want to give them triple protection against fleas and ticks, intestinal worms and deadly heartworm. So, If you're a dog person, you're a Simparica Trio person too.
Police are stepping up their hunt for thugs who attacked a young man on a St Kilda street. Security video has been released of the suspects wanted over the assault and robbery on Saturday. 19-year-old Joshua Snowsill was slashed across the face, then stabbed in the back. Police are investigating if the same thugs bashed a man in Ripponlea an hour earlier. It's not hard to make the trains run on time when they're pretty much empty during the pandemic, but our transport bosses have been given bonuses worth millions of dollars for doing just that.
Trains and trams were essentially empty for most of last year, and for the first time they were consistently on time.
It seems the only time they can actually run well is when no one's able to use the system because we're in a pandemic.
The reward for meeting monthly punctuality targets was massive. Metro bosses received $12 million in bonuses, while Yarra Trams executives received $4 million. On top of special COVID relief payments, $65 million for Metro, $36 million for trams.
There does seem to be a bit of an aspect of having two bites of the cherry here.
Metro says the payments helped keep 6,200 workers in jobs and deliver their timetable services.
Performance payments we've received are significantly small in nature when compared with the drop in patronage.
Patronage dropped by 91% and road traffic was down by 70% during the lockdown.
We have come through the pandemic quite secure for our public transport system.
The number of people using public transport is gradually increasing. It's now at 60% on the train network. The question now whether Metro will be able to keep those performance targets as more and more passengers return.
We're determined to meet those targets and we want to make sure that we get everybody where they need to go reliably and on time.
Melina Saris, 7 News.
The thrill seekers have taunted police by performing an illegal high-rise stunt in full view of their city headquarters. The group made a dawn dash up a skyscraper under construction before posting their risky prank for all to see.
300 metres up, a daredevil delicately climbs a worksite crane.
It's like genuinely one of the most beautiful things I've seen in my life.
A life which is in the balance, just so he can admire the view with a stunt that's extra bold because of what's over the road, the new police headquarters. Despite locked doors and chains, the group of four broke in at night and made their way up West Side Place on Spencer Street, then waited for sunrise to head to the rooftop, walk along ledges and scale the crane.
These individuals breach multiple security points to gain access to this site.
It's all wet. Very tough one.
Their previous stunts have been even more heart-stopping, hanging from another rooftop, then for a few breathtaking seconds, letting go of one hand.
We're really concerned to hear about these criminal activities, which are clearly extremely dangerous.
The group responsible spoke online with 7 News but wouldn't appear on camera, fearful of a police investigation which is now underway. If caught, each faces a charge of trespass and a fine of more than $4,000. Construction company ProBuild said tampering with its worksite endangered staff and the public. Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
The Australian Olympic Committee has revealed it hopes to have all our athletes vaccinated by July, in time for the Tokyo Games. Either way, our new look team says nothing will stop them from going to Japan to take on the world.
Behind the scenes at this morning's uniform launch, reality struck. An Olympics of symbolic human triumph is happening.
There hasn't been something where all the countries of the world have been able to unite and bring what the Olympics actually means forward, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
The Aussies will compete in gear designed for Tokyo's stifling summer, predicted to be the hottest ever games.
To represent my culture, who I am, myself and my family on the biggest stage of all, it's mind-blowing.
Still, COVID cases rise in Japan and the AOC stands firm on a policy not to jump the queue for vaccines.
Everybody who's involved in this rollout still remains confident that we will be vaccinated in time for Tokyo.
I'm 100% so excited to go, vaccine or not. I'm happy to get on that plane and compete.
And from the dozens of athletes we've been speaking to for many weeks now, that attitude is unanimous. They want to go and be part of the most anticipated Olympic Games there's ever been. They might not march in an opening ceremony, won't have families there, and won't complain about any of it. Modern pentathlete Marina Carrier's parents are planning a street party for their daughter's first Olympics.
I'm just hoping that there's going to be a big viewing party and we could have a reciprocal camera arrangement where I can see you guys watching the TV.
And now, just 114 days to go. Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
There's a medical alert tonight for parents and pet owners. Next, the poison danger in parks that has authorities worried. What they want you to know is next. Also, get set for more hip pocket pain. Health insurance premiums set to rise. Petrol prices soaring for Easter. What's driving the price surge? And take a sneak peek at a blockbuster display in the city that's set to dazzle our children.
He did the unthinkable.
What's the plan?
Different wig for every day. Here I am on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, my favourite.
I like it because finally your hairstyle has caught up to your personality.
Now, Luke Beveridge drops in on the front bar. Tonight, 8:30 on 7.
Looking for a huge meal? Grab the legendary Subway footlong.
At Tab, we're on a mission to deliver a streaming tsunami of racing and sport. Introducing Play Central, the all-new place to watch all 3 Sky Racing channels, the best in US sport, and place a bet while you watch. And the drone delivery? Yeah, it's a bit much. Play Central, new on your Tab app. Tab, long may we play.
The kitchen's moved from being just the place where you cook meals to being really the central hub around the house. Somewhere where you can actually use as an office. The kids can sit there doing homework, and then your kitchen can be an art gallery. Somewhere where you can entertain. The kitchen's really become a place where life happens. So your kitchen needs to be designed to suit your life. We have the range and quality to help you do that. Because Bunnings kitchens are made for real life.
Bunnings Warehouse!
Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Jump into Easter and get your barbecue sizzling with Woolworths responsibly sourced seafood, like Tasmanian Atlantic salmon, barramundi and Aussie tiger prawns to help support the future of Australian seafood.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Oh, another Monday, a whole week to do.
Gotta get up and see it through.
But what if it's different? Shine a light on the day.
Turn Mondays into fun days?
Come, sing it, sir. It's here come Mondays, now Mondays on so blink.
I compare the market, there's prizes every week.
It's mere come Mondays.
Putting Mondays on the map.
Just compare the market.
And please download the
app. Simples.
App.
The MS Dream Home Lottery is back, and this year... Two can win. 2 lucky grand prize winners will each take home a $1.5 million grand prize. Get your tickets today.
Sub. Turn it up. Yep. Whew. That's a lot of food.
Turn it up.
Subway. Eat fresh.
Health insurance premiums will rise by about 2.7% from tomorrow, costing families around $130 more a year. It's the second increase for some funds in 6 months.
The financial pressures of COVID and the upcoming increase might mean that private health insurance is on the chopping block for a lot of families.
We're being urged to shop around rather than ditch cover altogether. And we're also being urged to be more flexible about fuel this Easter as the city's petrol prices surge. Some experts say it's not linked to the holidays, rather the usual dubious price cycle.
Perhaps we're being ripped off, but it's not something special that we should feel just because it's Easter.
The average price cycle lasts between 4 to 6 weeks. A chain of Australian shopping centres soared today after securing a prized international deal. Gemma Acton is here with a check on the markets.
Thanks, Peter. After a lacklustre start to the week, Aussie shares finally caught a break today, closing out the final trading day of the quarter higher at 6,790 points. Shopping centre operator Unibail-Rodamco Westfield was the biggest mover. That's after it signed a deal to give its retailers access to customers of Europe's largest online fashion platform, Zalando. The Aussie dollar has fallen back below 76 US cents, while gold is slipping further away from 1,700 US dollars. 72% of city workers in Australia would prefer flexible working to stay after the pandemic passes. That puts us right in line with workers in other countries too. Peter.
Gemma Acton reporting. Consumer group Choice has tested dishwashing liquids and found some perform so miserably they're no better than water. 4 of them, from Fairy, Palmolive, Uniquely Natural and Woolworths, scored just 45%.
There's a huge gap between the 2 leaders in our test and the majority of products which scored significantly worse.
The best performers were Tandil Ultra, sold at Aldi, and Morning Fresh Ultimate. We're being urged to be on high alert for a potentially deadly threat popping up in Melbourne parks. Recent rain has created ideal growing conditions for poisonous mushrooms, with children and dogs at risk.
They may look edible, but consuming even one wild mushroom can be deadly.
One mushroom is enough to kill an adult, and obviously smaller amounts if you're a child or a pet.
The autumn rain has created the perfect storm for death caps to sprout in parks visited every day, sparking fears for unsuspecting children and dogs.
It would probably take 2 or 3 hours for it to work into your system and you start getting symptoms.
Wherever oak trees grow in Victoria, there would be a chance that there would be death caps.
There were more than 400 calls for help last year. Some patients ended up in intensive care, and there's no antidote.
The thing with the death cap mushroom is that you get those nausea and vomiting and diarrhoea symptoms at the beginning. You think you've got better, but then you end up in liver failure maybe 24, 48 hours later.
And a simple message to avoid a potentially life-threatening situation this autumn.
Do supervise your kids and your pets when you're out and about and make sure that they're staying away from wild mushrooms.
Sarah Jones, 7 News.
Dinosaurs have taken over Melbourne, but thankfully they're fun, not a threat. An exhibition recreating Jurassic World is set to open its doors with more than 6 million Lego bricks on display. We'll give you a sneak peek a little later tonight. Sport is next with Tim Watson, and Tim, North Melbourne is vowing to make a statement on Good Friday.
Mitch, the Roos are getting territorial, and it's not just the Bulldogs they have in their sights. Plus, what's got the Lions so grumpy as the Pies focus on the bright side? Ash Barty's running red hot in Miami, and a son of a gun ready to fire tonight's showdown.
I'm 65 years old.
Oh man, this is such a long way away.
I might be the oldest, but I have an opportunity to prove to people that you can all put yourself outside of a comfort zone and fly.
Bring it on.
Get your Woolies worth for Easter with 20-pack Cadbury Easter egg crate, 340 grams. Now just $7 each. Save $2.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table.
Punter Assist from Ladbrokes gives you all the tools you need to stay in control. Because if it's no longer entertaining, you've got to know when to walk away.
Take it away, Jose. Count your money when you're sitting at the table.
Nobility is a matter of conduct, not breeding.
Take the fine people at Noble Oak. They're single-handedly slicing the cost of life insurance. Oh.
Search Noble Oak Life Insurance.
There's nothing more natural than change. Change helped you grow, to discover. Sure, it isn't always easy, but change has the power to excite, to refresh, to move us. It could be your first front door, or baby's first room. And the best thing about change, if you don't like it, you can always change it. Change starts here.
Get moving, Australia. New Cocoa Pops Golden Gaytime flavours here, with a delightfully delicious toffee chocolatey taste. Try new Cocoa Pops Golden Gaytime flavour, just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy.
Let me be witty, let me be so ditty in every state and city. How about let you do a double take? I don't need your money, I don't need your credit. I'm a superwoman, I let you watch me fade.
Ned's Same Race Multi, now available on all 3 racing codes. Pump up your odds in any thoroughbred, greyhound or harness race by selecting 2 to 4 runners to finish anywhere inside the top 4. Take it to the Ned's level.
Loving you is easy. Loving you is never a pain in the guts.
Fresh, natural Simmel, the easy-to-digest milk.
Welcome back to breaking news, and the AFL has just concluded its investigation into Chris Scott's quarter-time exchange. Tom Brown has the exclusive details, and Tom, this has dragged on all week.
Tim, it's been 5 days, and officially the AFL still working with Geelong and Scott on this as we speak. But sources tell me the AFL has proposed a formal sanction, likely to be a fine. There's been debate whether Scott should be formally punished at all. He will be. The AFL set to release that overnight, the fine, or tomorrow morning, the sanction. The Lions coach Chris Fagan on the latest version of what was said this afternoon.
It was alluded to somewhere that Chris may have made reference to your age and also challenged you to a fight. Did either of them happen?
As I said, I'm not going to talk any further about that incident. I think we should be talking about the game tomorrow night.
Speaking of tomorrow night, Brodie Grundy and Jordan De Goey passed their captain's run with flying colours today. Both had bugs during the week, clearing their COVID tests. The Pies look happy and a bit mischievous there. It sounds like a moot point, but the Happy Pies was a theme when they played well in 2018. And Tim, expect Eddie Betts to be selected for his first game this season. Veteran Mark Murphy also expected to hold his spot. The Swans will decide if Buddy flies down in the morning before they fly down.
Thanks, Tom. North Melbourne coach David Noble has hit out at suggestions the Roos don't deserve the marquee Good Friday slot, and they're preparing to unveil a boom recruit in a very famous number.
2 games into his coaching stint at Arden Street, David Noble is seemingly under siege from all angles.
North Melbourne need to earn the right to play on Good Friday. If they don't earn the right and put up a solid performance on Friday, they should be banished.
We cherish this game, we respect this game, and we'll fight to keep this game.
The Roos, with the help of the Dogs and the Bombers, have drawn over 40,000 for the first 2 editions of the Good Friday game at Marvel Stadium. That number expected to be around 30,000 this year. Number 3 draft pick Will Phillips to debut wearing Brent Harvey's old number. But even the Phillips family knows it's a big task against the Dogs.
I'm playing.
Fair income.
Yeah.
Far out. At least you're not going up against a good midfield.
Oh,
Bloody hell.
Easton Wood likely to return for the Bulldogs. Number 1 draft pick Jamara Ugle-Hagan recovering well from a dislocated thumb.
The bone came through the skin. He may not play this week. It won't do him any harm. And will top up his fitness.
His AFL suspension over after a cocaine bust. Brad Crouch makes his St Kilda debut this Saturday. The midfielder revealing the full extent of a debilitating groin injury before surgery at the end of 2018.
My body I was really bad. I couldn't even walk without being able to do it, without being in real pain. I honestly thought I'd never play footy again.
Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
Melbourne City will be out to make it 7 straight wins against crosstown rival Western United tomorrow night at Amy Park. But City's A-League Championship aspirations could be derailed with up to 7 players in line for international call-ups for the Socceroos and Olyroos in June.
Their main aim is just to concentrate here, and whatever will be, and we'll worry about it when it comes. But it is special to represent your country. That's one thing I will say.
City will be near full strength tomorrow night. Ash Barty is just one win away from retaining her world #1 ranking and just 2 wins away from her biggest title in 18 months at the Miami Open. The defending champion needed more than 2 hours and some of her very best tennis to see off Aryna Sabalenka in 3
really
sets.
Made me bring out my best stuff today. She's an exceptional competitor and someone who I respect so much.
Barty will play Alina Svitolina for a spot in the final. Aussie boxer Tim Tszyu says he will finish Dennis Hogan's career in tonight's super welterweight fight in Newcastle. The winner of the bout will get a shot at the WBO world title, and the Brisbane-based Irishman is talking tough, saying Tszyu will finish the night on the canvas.
I have been landing heavy. I've been sitting down on my punches, and I just feel like I can land that punch on Tim.
Tszyu will start red-hot favourite. Two-time Aussie World Surfing Champion Tyler Wright admits it'll be strange kicking off the Australian leg of the season in New South Wales rather than the Gold Coast and Bells Beach. The Rip Curl Newcastle Cup gets underway tomorrow, and Wright has her sights set on another world title.
I think every year we go in and it's, we go in to win. That's it. That's what we train for. That's what we're here to do.
The Rip Curl Pro Easter Classic will be back at Bells Beach next year, where it belongs, Mitch. Where it belongs.
It does.
Just on loan for a year. And Footy's Funniest Show, The Front Bar, is on tonight at 8:30. Bulldogs coach Luke Beveridge is the special guest. That will be a lot of fun.
And if the Kangaroos recruit goes half as well as Boomer Harvey, he's going to be all right, isn't he?
That's right. And the old man did mention how tough the opposition midfield was.
Nice of him to do that too. Thank you, Tim. Dinosaurs are being brought back to life in Melbourne. A 6 million-piece Lego display is set to open, recreating the iconic Jurassic World.
From harmless herbivores to a terrifying T-Rex, dinosaurs brought back to life by Lego.
As soon as I walked into this, I was just so shocked about how amazing it was.
A team of building enthusiasts have spent more than 13,000 hours recreating scenes from Jurassic World. A real treat for movie fans and Lego lovers.
I know there's a few fans of both that are coming along, so hopefully the two together, hopefully it doesn't make their brain explode.
All up, the exhibition contains 6 million bricks.
All of our models that we've made are 3.5 million bricks, and then 2.5 million bricks is what people get to play with.
No detail has been spared on these models. This Velociraptor took 460 hours to complete, with 6 people using more than 58,000 Lego bricks.
I love the Jeep, how in the rearview mirrors there's a dinosaur coming to eat you. I think they're really scary.
Jurassic World by Brickman opens at the Exhibition Centre tomorrow. Estelle Grey-Pink, 7 News.
That looks good too. Jane is next with the forecast. Jane, how's it looking tomorrow?
Well, Mitch, temperatures are jumping up. It is warm and generally sunny for the next 3 days. The full details on that are next.
Tonight on the latest from 7 News, we ask why the vaccine rollout is so slow in your state. The new supersonic passenger plane that can take you from Melbourne to Hawaii in less than 4 hours. And live to London as the Queen steps out to mark an Australian milestone. Join me for the latest from 7 News after the front bar.
It's news happening now. The trusted newsfeed you need. Every story, every day. Connect direct to 7news.com.au.
It's the day the stars come together to give new hope.
Give for the kids. Give for the kids.
The Good Friday Appeal, Friday morning on 7.
If your floor tiles are looking a little dated, this weekend is a great chance to bring them back to life. So let's make it happen. Come into Bunnings and talk to us for some expert advice. For this job, we'll be using paint, primer, roller and brushes, masking tape, some sandpaper, cleaning products and safety gear. First step, clean the tiles down and use a toothbrush to clean out any grout. Then, lightly sand to roughen up the surface, clean up and mask up. Now it's time to prime. Once the prime is dry, then it's time for the top coat. It's always best to do 2 coats for the best finish. We've gone grey, but the choice is yours. So there you have it. We'll help you make it happen this weekend. Shop at Bunnings, wherever you are, whenever you want.
At Ladbrokes, our aim is to make racing even more exciting. Introducing our new Chief Entertainment Officer, Mike Iceberg. I am here to show you all how to Ladbroke it. Let's Ladbroke the action!
That's not safe.
Let's Ladbroke the riders. Ladbroke the winners! Let's Ladbroke the
On April 1st, health insurance premiums get bigger. But what if this time you didn't feed the rate rise creep and just compared a bunch of great health funds with iSelect? Compare, select and save with iSelect on 13/19/20.
Well, seems everyone's making the healthier switch to veggie rice.
They'll be switching us next.
Wait, what?
Oh. Pee!
Well, hello there.
Actually, this switch is good too.
Bird's eye.
I feel like going back home right now while the
This Easter, let's celebrate all the little things that make time together great. The backyard barbecues, kitchen creations, and everything in between. Coles, value the Australian way.
Can't believe some health insurers don't let you use your extras limits the way you want.
Yeah. Oh, what a clock of shit.
Does your health insurer offer cover that lets you use your extras limits your way? Don't settle for a quackish. Join HBF today.
At Ladbrokes, our aim is to make racing even more exciting. Introducing our new Chief Entertainment Officer, Mike Iceberg. I am here to show you all how to Ladbroke it. Let's Ladbroke the action!
That's not safe.
Let's Ladbroke the riders. Ladbroke the winners! Let's Ladbroke the
Congratulations, you are now officially homeowners.
We think Susie's a con artist. She threatened me.
Be careful.
I am so onto you.
Like a caged animal,
You're not getting away with this.
she'll strike back. Home and Away, next up on 7.
Hello again. We'll have warm and sunny days for the next 3 in a row. We're about to enter a stretch of above average weather. Today it was 12 degrees in the early hours of the morning, 15 under the cloud at 9 a.m. It was 20 as the sun came out at lunchtime and it peaked at a top of 23. That brings March to a sunny end in a month where nights were a touch warmer than average. But we didn't have any really hot nights, our hottest night in 27 years. Days were a huge 2 degrees cooler than average, our coolest March in 24 years. We only just climbed to 30 degrees once, our hottest day in 27 years. And that one is really unusual, only our 3rd time on record. In a changing climate, there is more energy, so we get more extremes. There's still the odd cold extreme, but generally, as we go forward, there's a lot more hot ones. But not this summer, thanks to La Nina. Excessive rain to our north means the air just can't heat up. Our normally hot northerly winds weren't very hot. Now, the high is moving out to our east, introducing northerly winds, so April begins above average. A cold front will be sliding well south of Victoria tomorrow. That high is in control. So it is warm and sunny across the state for the next 3 days, either bright sunshine or some wispy high cloud. A wind change makes it cooler on Sunday across southern Victoria, but it remains warm in the north until that cooler air can push right through on Monday. Across Easter and for much of the next week, it is almost completely dry. That controlling high means hardly any wet weather gets through. There is a little up on the ranges in through here, as coastal parts up to our north are the focus. Around the nation tomorrow, showers passing through Brisbane. There's the chance of a morning shower in Sydney. Adelaide warm and sunny, a top of 31, and it stays that way until a week cool change there on Saturday afternoon. Over in Perth, it's a hot 35. To Victoria, it is not an April Fool's joke. There's really no wet weather across the state tomorrow. We have patchy morning fog, then lots of sunshine with wispy high cloud overhead. Temperatures are warm to hot. It is well above average, over 30 in the northwest. Closer inland, there's local fog, then lots of sunshine. We've got a veil of wispy high cloud. It jumps up to 29 in 2 spots tomorrow in light northerly winds and bayside sea breezes. The city is heading for 27 on a mostly sunny Thursday. The April average is 20 degrees and we are well above average right through to Saturday. It's a lovely first half of Easter. On Good Friday, a low of 14, a top of 28. There's a bit of high cloud in the morning, bright sunshine in the afternoon. Bright sunshine on Saturday, that is our top of 30 degrees. A cool change late at night, so on Sunday there's a bit of cloud, but the afternoon is lovely. The cloudiest day is Monday. There might be a bit of drizzle, and then we warm up once again. So tomorrow, mostly sunny. It jumps up to 27 and it stays warm and sunny. We've got a few days of that, Mitch.
And we know Tim said 2 weeks ago no more 30s, so he deserves an apology, or gives you one.
We'll see how we go on Saturday. I'll report back. We'll see how we go.
Good on you. Thank you, Jane.
We'll get
Now here's what's on Sunrise tomorrow.
Thanks, Mitch. When you wake up, a major cash giveaway that you don't want to miss.
A massive $60,000 up for grabs. Watch and win tomorrow on Sunrise. See you in the morning, Melbourne.
Thanks, Nat and Koshi, and that's the way it is this Wednesday, the 31st of March. Thanks for your company. For now, from the 7 News team, good night.